Many of you will be aware that some few weeks ago, a Supreme Court ruling was decreed in Northern Ireland that Christian focused religious education caught, caught, taught in Northern Ireland schools is unlawful. Did you ever think you would see the day that in a so-called Christian country, that Christian focused religious education would be deemed unlawful? Now, why do you think that is? What has happened in the last, 10, 20, 30 years that would push this ruling to have been made? Well, it was made by apparently a father of a young child who felt stigmatized because she would be excluded from religious education and collective worship within schools. And the burden should not fall on the parents to deal with stigmatized children. So he took a case and he won it. He won it. Christian RE taught in schools is unlawful, said the UK Supreme Court. In a unanimous judgment, the UK's highest court allowed an appeal by an unnamed father and daughter from Northern Ireland. And this is getting to the point now that the Education Minister, Paul Givan from the DUP, who's under further attack for a visit that he made to Israel, demands for his resignation came in thick and fast, and votes of no confidence were passed, but to no avail. He's still in situ. He's having to come out now and reassure parents that Nativity plays, Christmas plays, the bedrock of many a primary school, are not under threat this Christmas. Would you ever thought you would see the day? Be honest. I'll get to that in a second. So way back in 2022, way back 3 years ago, it seems like such a long time ago, the High Court in Belfast did rule that Christian-based RE taught at primary schools in NI was unlawful. However, the Department of Education appealed it and it was overturned. But a couple of weeks ago, Supreme Court allowed the father and daughter subsequent appeal and dismissed the department's cross appeal. So back and forth in court. Father challenged the legality of teaching RE the practice of collective worship in the primary school which she attended between the ages of 4 and 7. The proceedings involved points of law which affected those in the case, as well as the teachings of RE and practice of collective worship generally in NI. So basically, this case has resulted in a lot of questioning going on as to the legality of teaching Christianity in a Christian school. Now, having said that, the teaching of Christianity in and of itself is not being stopped. Okay, this is being misinterpreted by many people. It's not being stopped. But what they are saying is that if you want to teach Christianity, it must be done along with other faiths for balance, for equality and diversity targets to be met. You have to teach all faiths. Probably the only place in the world that would happen. Can you imagine going to Saudi Arabia or Iraq or Indonesia, where the 99% are Turkey, 99% Muslim, and say, hey, by the way, these Muslim schools, I'm putting my Christian son or daughter in there, and you make sure you don't make them feel excluded. You teach them about Jesus Christ. All right? You teach them that he is the only begotten Son of God, and that for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. You make sure you do that, and we're going to take you to court and overturn the entire country's education system just for me and my little kid. You think that would wash? I think not. So Givan has came out with a statement today assuring parents and children that Christmas is not being cancelled just yet. It's probably on the cards. Enjoy those little cherubs while you can, those little angels, you know, the shepherd, kids being shepherds, kids being Mary, Joseph, the Nativity. Enjoy it while you can. Christian ethos in schools is to be maintained. So I'd say there's a lot of discussion going on behind closed doors in this one. Givan said that he will ensure the Christian ethos in our schools is maintained. He was responding after the judgment that I've just explained about to say that the teaching of Christian-based RE is unlawful. Givan is seeking further legal advice to understand the full implications, but plans to issue guidance in the coming weeks. So the minister insisted nativity plays will continue to take place, even though some kids may be stigmatized. It's supposed to be a Christian country. Ireland, North Ireland, South Ireland, East Ireland, West Ireland, a bit in the middle. But as I've said before, and I'll say it again, it's small c Christianity now, without a shadow of a doubt. Nativity plays will continue. The landmark ruling followed a long-running case. Speaking on Monday, that's today, isn't it? Yeah, today. Givan said he would issue comprehensive guidance. The DUP minister said the court did not strike down the existing legislation. Both religious education and collective worship can and legally is required to continue in schools. So the Supreme Court said it's unlawful. He said it's a legal obligation that it must continue. Historically and today, Christianity is the main religion in Northern Ireland, and so it is for now. Furthermore, the court explained that it is within the department's margin of appreciation in planning and setting the curriculum for the greater part of religious education to focus on knowledge of Christianity, he said. And again, I stress they're not talking about removing Christianity. They're saying the curriculum of religious education focusing primarily on Christianity is unlawful. So really, the best way for me to explain it is you can continue to do it, but forget the collective worship. We can't be stigmatizing individual pupils, and you must teach multiple faiths. Probably, they will say, in at least the same measure as Christianity, even though we're still supposed to be a Christian country in the main. This is complex. This can't be ignored. Givan said his full response to the judgment, he would be ensuring that our Christian ethos is maintained. He was asked by a colleague about nativity plays at Christmas. Givan said it was a question that principals have reached out to my department and other organizations seeking advice. Imagine reaching out at Christmas in Ireland, north or south, east or west, or in the middle, for guidance on whether or not you can still have a nativity play or a Christmas play at your school. This is a disgrace. 2025. Principals have been reaching out. I can give an absolute categoric answer. Nativity plays can continue to take place within our schools, he said. So for now anyway, Christmas is not cancelled. Traditional Christian Christmas is still allowed in schools, but what do they have to do maybe next year? Okay, the nativity play, the Christmas play will be broken into three. We're going to have the first section on Jesus, we're going to have the next section on Allah, and then we're going to have the last section on Buddha. And then we might have a fourth section on, paganism or witchcraft, whatever, and then a fifth section on nothing at all, atheism, maybe even a section on Satanism. Why not? Why not? So for now, it continues as is. But you bet your life in a year from now, watch and see what's being fought about next year, next Christmas. Because once they get their foot in the door, that's all they need. They just keep. Mm. So tell me what you think below. Can you believe I'm saying this? Can you believe you're hearing this? Can you believe you're even having to think about this? Leave me your comments below. Share this video with other people because it's important. It is. It is important. And subscribe to the channel if you feel like it. If you're not, we're not going to fall out, especially not online, considering I have no idea who you are. And I'll never meet you in real life, probably. So we're not going to fall out, are we? Are we? Anyway, for now, I'm Rick Munn. This is No Risk, No Reward Media. Over and out.